Hello, it is episode 15 of Buhay Beats, and if you notice, I did not start with okay. I was watching the past episodes and I always start with okay. Anyway, it's episode 15 of Buhay Beats. It's our different pro-life tidbits to keep our hearts beating for the cause of life, and we are at letter T of death. So death is the acronym of the topics and of the things that we are fighting against, especially as pro-lifers. So death, divorce, euthanasia, abortion, total population control, and homosexual unions. So we're in the letter T. Why not just population control? Because you can't spell death with a P. And it sounds cooler, total population control. It's easier. It really encompasses what it is, because that's what a lot of pro-choicers, anti-lifers want. They want to control the population. They want to keep numbers low. Now, you can say that here in the Philippines, well, if you're in Manila, you'll say it's so crowded, it's so traffic, everything is, it's a population explosion. But actually, when you go just drive, let's say through Tarlac or Zambales, you'll see that there's so much land, hectares and hectares of land. So it's not really a case of overpopulation, but it's maybe a mismanagement thing and development thing. So everybody comes to Manila instead of staying in their areas, staying in their provinces, and really focusing there, or going to the nearest urban city instead of being able to survive where they are. And I think that is something that we really have to look at, especially here in the Philippines, because you can't have everybody coming to Metro Manila all the time. There has to be some sort of decentralization and really develop the whole Philippines. Just like other countries, let's say in the US, you just don't go to New York City. You can go to anywhere in the US and you can still live a good life. Here, we need more work on that. So that's one aspect of sometimes when people say population control, they just focus on these big cities and crowded places. But you can see that there's so much more that we can do if we just actually work on it, through legislation, through good executives, and all these things. So that's one aspect of it. That's just one aspect of it. And in the next few days, we'll go into different aspects. But basically, total population control wants to keep populations low, to the point that you can't replace yourselves anymore. So one thing maybe we'll talk about tomorrow, but I can talk about a little today, is the replacement rate. So every woman should have 2.1 babies to be able to replace this generation with the next generation. Why 2.1? Because there are women who won't get married or won't have babies. So basically every woman average makes 2.1. So you have different countries. I think the Philippines, we're already dipping a little bit below that, but you have countries who are like at 1 or less than 1, and they're already trying to bribe their citizens to have more babies, because they know they will not be able to replace their own population locally. They'll have to go into migration and getting and all that stuff, and there are a lot of countries that don't want to do that. You can see that Japan and Italy, all these towns and homes being empty and towns disappearing because there's no more population. So 2.1 is the reproductive fertility rate that we need to achieve to replace the population, and that's exactly what a lot of anti-lifers are hitting with contraception, with all these rules and all these development goals that they say will help the country, but really it's just an attack on the population and to keep numbers low. But we'll go into that in the next few days. But now you just have to know that total population control is an issue that pro-lifers fight against, because again, we believe that every life is precious, and that we not only take care of life from conception, but until natural death. And there's so many opportunities and there's so many ways to take care of life and to make sure everybody lives their lives to the fullest. So thank you for joining. It's a lot of input, and so we'll take a few days to talk more about this. So thank you for joining us on Buhay Beats tonight. See you again tomorrow.